It was almost 1:30 in the morning when the cold wind rushed across the empty streets of Ravenwood, a small quiet American town that looked peaceful in the daytime but turned unsettling when the sun went down. The night sky was heavy and a low fog crawled over the asphalt like something alive and restless. In the middle of that silence, 26-year-old Jason Miller was driving home from his late-night shift at a hardware store, unaware that his life was about to collide with a secret buried deeper than the roots of the oldest forests around the town. Ravenwood had a history that locals never talked about, a series of disappearances going back almost 30 years, all unsolved, all connected to the same remote area near Black Hollow Woods, a place children were warned never to go to after sunset. But Jason had never believed in strange stories or old rumors. He had always been the type of man who trusted logic and dismissed fear, but that night everything around him felt wrong, like the fog was hiding something, watching, waiting, breathing. Jason lived alone in a small rented house at the edge of town, surrounded by tall pine trees that whispered whenever the wind blew. His routine was simple. He worked, he ate, he slept, but for the past week he had been receiving anonymous messages on his phone, messages with blurry pictures of the woods at night and short lines telling him to stay away from the hollow. He thought it was some prank pulled by bored teenagers until the pictures started showing a silhouette in them, something tall, thin, and always standing in the exact same spot, as if it wanted him to know it was real. On the seventh night he received a final message, a GPS location pinned deep inside Black Hollow Woods, and a sentence that made his skin crawl, saying only one line: "Come before it is too late." Jason tried to ignore it, but his mind twisted with curiosity and an uneasy pull that made him grip the steering wheel tighter. As he drove home he kept glancing at the woods visible behind his house, the fog rolling between the trunks like a living creature. That same night the power in his house flickered and died, leaving him in complete darkness. He felt the silence grow heavier around him, and then he saw something that nearly stopped his heart. Through his living room window towards the back of the woods, a faint light was moving slowly between the trees, not like a flashlight, not like a lantern, but like a dim floating glow drifting in and out of the fog. He tried to convince himself to stay inside, but his feet moved on their own, and soon he found himself walking through the damp grass toward the tree line. As he entered the woods the temperature dropped sharply, his breath turned white, and every step echoed strangely as if the ground beneath the leaves was hollow. He followed the faint glow deeper into the trees until he reached an old broken wooden sign lying on the ground, half rotted and covered in moss, the faded letters barely readable, calling the area Black Hollow restricted. Beyond that point the forest changed. The trees were twisted as if something had bent them from the inside, and the soil was darker, almost black with moisture. The glow vanished suddenly and everything went silent. No wind, no insects, no rustling leaves, only a stillness so unnatural it made Jason's chest tighten. He turned to leave, but then he heard something, a slow drag on the ground, something heavy being pulled across the earth. He froze, his heart slamming against his ribs. The dragging sound came again, closer and heavier, as if whatever was moving did not care to hide its presence. Jason stepped backward and his foot hit something soft. He looked down and the fog shifted, revealing a shoe, then a leg, then the entire body of a missing teenager. The police had been searching for the boy's face, pale, his eyes wide open, staring at something behind Jason. Jason felt the blood drain from his head as he slowly turned around. A shape taller than any human stood only a few feet away, its entire form swallowed by shadow, its arms too long for its body, its shoulders hunched as though carrying the weight of the darkness around it. Jason wanted to scream, but no sound left his throat. The creature did not move, it simply watched him, its head tilting slowly like it was studying him the same way a predator studies prey before the kill. Suddenly the creature took a single step forward, the ground trembling under its weight. Jason ran blindly through the woods, branches slashing his arms, the fog choking his lungs, the shadows twisting around him like they were alive. He could hear the creature behind him moving without haste, without fear, because it knew the woods better than any human knew their own home. And Jason realized he was not running in a straight line, he was being guided deeper into the hollow where the trees formed shapes like cages and the air smelled of decay. He stumbled into a clearing lit by a faint unnatural glow where dozens of missing people lay in a silent circle, their bodies preserved like they were frozen in time, their eyes open, all of them staring at the same point in the center of the clearing where the ground pulsed like a beating heart. Jason collapsed, shaking as he realized every disappearance, every rumor, every warning led to this place, this living graveyard deep beneath Ravenwood. He felt something cold brush the back of his neck. The creature had caught up to him. He could feel its breath, cold and unnatural, drifting across his skin. The last thing he saw before darkness swallowed him was the circle of dead eyes watching him as if welcoming him home. And in Ravenwood the fog continued to move softly as another name quietly vanished from the town records like all the others swallowed by the hollow forever. Subscribe our channel for more true crime documentaries.